Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up just like the sunrise. We gonna light it up now. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up just like the sunrise. We gonna light it up now.
Hey guys, and welcome into tonight's live. How's everybody doing? Let me hold up a sec. Hold on. I forgot to turn this light on behind me. It's kind of dark back here. So many lights to turn on. Okay. I do have 1,000,001 lights in here that I do turn on, so sorry about that. See, it just gives it a little more ambience. I don't know. I feel like you guys can see me a little better when it's on. But welcome into tonight's live. If you're new to the channel and you have not been here before, hi, hello, welcome. My name is Tanya or TitaniumBuilt. You can call me either or. I don't prefer one over the other. So thanks for being here. And thanks for all the returning Titans that have coming back to join me for another live. And I don't know why it always sets me up so close there, but it does. I guess it doesn't matter either way. Y'all know what I look like. But we'll say hello to some people in chat. If you're in the chat and you're not a subscriber, subscribe to the channel if you like. We'd love to have you, and let us know where you're from in the chat. I love to know where people are from. It makes me like just excited to know where we're, I'm in Ohio, and it's crazy to know, that you can get on the internet and have such a large reach. So it's always good to see where people are from. And you never know, you might know somebody in that area. Hey, Ladybug. Hey, Boone. How you doing tonight? Hey, Kelly. Welcome in. Hey, DM. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. I do have my mic turned down a little smidge more than I normally do. So just breathe. Welcome in. Member of a country club. I like that name. That's crazy. You know what? I have actually been thinking about the country club that I used to work at. And that was probably one of my favorite jobs. Like, I don't know why I was thinking about that the other day. And it's been forever since I worked there. I was probably Oh, hell, I don't know. I was older, I guess. No, I mean, not young. I was probably 24. So it wasn't that long ago. So, hey, Triple L. Hey, Nikki. How you doing? How's the baby? Not so much of a baby anymore. Hey, Lisa. Welcome in, everybody. Hey, Princess. It's good to see ya. I have yet to see Mary Beth. Maybe she's, you know. Oh, TCL's live. I didn't know. Or I wouldn't have went live on top of her. I would have waited. Oh, I didn't know. I would have waited for her to go live, like to finish. I have no idea who that is. Hey, Willows. Hey, Faith. It's good to see you guys. Oh, I'm glad you're excited. Hey, Faith. Hey, Wicked. I was excited that Southernish, we did a video on Grant Solomon the other night, and she said it was so good. She went back and watched it again, and that made me so happy. I was like, that's so like exciting for me, like for someone to want to watch me twice. I don't know how I can get you guys to watch me once, but I do. Hey, Betsy. Hey, Sherry. And we are going to be covering a case in either this week or next week that's very dear and near to my heart. And I'll put it on the community tab and I'll let everyone know exactly what live it is. But it's going to be a live over my cousin's death. And I just want to tell her story. And I want a lot of people to be there just because it's my cousin, and I want her story to be told. So, hey, Mandy. Hey, Kathy. Welcome in. Hey, Elizabeth. Sherry, you've been a member for 4 months already. Well, thank you so much for being a member for so long. In 2 months, your titanium arm will change. And I have to get some more months up there. You guys are getting some months. Oh, thanks, Nikki. Yeah, we got new documents out. You're from Texas? Oh, I love Texas. I've never been there, but I've flown over Texas and I'm like, does everybody have a pool in Texas? I feel like that. Every time we fly over there, I say that. It's probably because it's so dang hot. You're from Missouri, Just Breathe? I love that. Nikki's from Canada. Hollywood, Florida. Been there before. I've been to Hollywood, Florida. I've been to Hollywood, California, too. Santa Rosa, California. Now, that sounds familiar. I don't know if I've ever been there, though. I bet I have. Is it south of or anywhere near LA County? Because, that's the area and around there is what I do, where we do go. So it's good to see you guys. Hey, Frenchie. Welcome in. Hey, Catherine. I know it's good old New Jersey. There ain't nothing like saltwater taffy. I've been wanting saltwater taffy from New Jersey forever. I mean, it's probably been damn near 20 years since I've been there. Oh my goodness. It's been 20 years since, okay, I have not been craving it that long, but I've been craving it for a long time. But it's been that long since I've been there. Get to Ducking Point. I love that. From New York City. I love that. Central Arkansas. I love that, Terry. We're all over the place. Look at us. Look at this. Like we can get the word out about some things, having people from all over the place like that. And I knew not everyone was going to be saying from Ohio because I don't tell anybody I really have a page. I do tell people, but I don't tell people, like, I don't hound them to like go over to my page and check it out and like subscribe like my family. I should do that probably. But my brother just did it. He just heard me. He heard me, how some people, they listen really well. I don't know. He listens. Cape Cod. Oh, I bet that's beautiful, Sandy. I bet that's beautiful. Wisconsin, I bet that's beautiful too. Yes, Kristen, yep. Koberger's family may be testifying. From Indiana, you're my neighbor. It's been the high 80s. Oh my gosh. I'm so jealous of that, Triple O. I wish it'd be in the high 80s here. It's been cold. Hey, Sailor Outlaw. But my good friend, our good friend Ari, told me that there's going to be tornadoes flowing through this area on Sunday. So hopefully not. Hey, PJ Second Chance. And did I say hi to George? Hey, George. Hey, Lisa. Mississippi, California again. Or no, Canada. Lori Grant. Fairfield. Is it California or Canada? I think it's California. That sounds Fairfield sounds more like a California name. Oh, 60th birthday. She's the Undertaker. Man, that makes you feel old, doesn't it? I swear, didn't we watch The Undertaker back in the 80s, 90s? Wasn't he big? I'm a Jersey girl living in PA. Hello, Ohio. Look at that. You're all the way up there and I'm all the way down. EB's from Idaho. Rick's from upstate New York. Oh, I bet it's nice up there. I heard that upstate New York in the like fall time is like where it's at. Some more Canadians. Tony's Canadian. I don't know where she's at, but I know she is. Well, it's good to see everybody. If I missed you, I'm sorry. Hey, Kathy. Good old Michigan there. Can't miss Kathy. Kathy would take that personally if I did. She'd be like, okay, I know I'm from Michigan and all, but come on now. Hey, Donald. It's good to see you. I don't think I missed anybody. I would like to live, hey, Lori Grant, California. I would like to live in California. Hey, Lauren. Welcome in. Hey, Heather. It's good to see everybody. But yeah, I would like to one day live in California. And I think one day I think one day we will. I don't know when, but I think we will. Vincent said today actually it was pretty funny. He said, I've been in Ohio for like I don't know if he said the years, but it's been since 2014, so 11 years now. He's like, am I an Ohioan? And I'm like, yeah, you definitely are, but your license says that you're from California still. I don't know how you've been doing that for so long, but you have. Connecticut, summer girl, I bet it's beautiful there too. I've never been to Connecticut. I've never been up in the eastern part, like the northeastern part before. I've never been up there. But I guess it's probably because everyone wants to go to somewhere warm. We all want to go somewhere warm when, we leave Ohio. So let me get the documents up here for us. And then whichever ones we get through tonight, we should get through all of them tonight. There was probably 10 that came out, but a few of them were just sealing and redacting, and those are redundant. We've read through those kind of court filings before. They're just, they'll tell you they want to seal it and they say, okay, seal it. So they are sealing some things still, but not a lot. So they are bringing out some more stuff. So, which is nice for us. Oh, that was so nice of him. Oh, I'll tell him that was so nice. I know, doesn't he have the surgery coming up? I thought I saw. I just saw it tonight and I was going to reach out to him because I know what it's like. Yeah, we welcome you, George. Hey, Stephanie. Oh, briefly next week you'll be in California. Take as many pictures as you can. There's no bad lighting in California. I'm telling you, I love it. Hey, Karma. So I'll start reading through these. I did go through, I read through them, and I highlighted some stuff that I thought was of importance. And then I didn't put out I'm not going to read out the documents that I don't feel like are very important. Now, there is one from Brian's side, and it's word salad, like usual, but we'll read it. We'll read through it. But the first few are from the state side. So they're going to be from the prosecution side. Anything that's from the prosecution that we'd go through is going to be labeled or highlighted in pink. Anything that's from the defense is blue. And then anything from the courts or a document where I don't know exactly where to put it, it's going to be in yellow. And then I've been doing, I believe, the state witnesses and stuff like that. We've been doing those in like purple. So we have a color wheel going here. I need to have like somewhere where I can put that so everyone will know. You didn't miss anything. Nothing over here anyway. If you guys don't mind taking a second, hit the like button and we'll go ahead and we'll get started with this as well. State of Idaho versus Brian Kohlberger. This is going to be something that the state put in. So it's the state's reply to the defendant's response and objection to motion in limine. And then it says RE, immediate family members in the courtroom. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but a couple weeks ago, Ann Taylor had put out a document talking about, you know, who was allowed in the courtroom, who was going to be not allowed in the courtroom, who, and she was also saying she didn't want them wearing certain articles of clothing, nothing with the victims' faces or names on them, nothing with the Idaho statute pertaining to the firing squad. You know, the Gonzalez family have shirts that say that. So she didn't want any of that put in. And then the state comes out with a couple documents referencing that. And I think it's pretty funny. It might be, I think it's this one here. So it says, comes now the state of Idaho by and through the Latah County prosecuting attorney and respectfully replies to the defendant's response and objection state's motion in limine, immediate family members in courtroom filed March 17th, 2025. I guess it's been a little while since it's been about the same. I said about a couple weeks. It's been only like 6 days, but seems like it's been a lot longer than that. And actually could have been. The state is in agreement that immediate families should logically include step parents and relatives by marriage. And I think a reason why they're bringing this up too is because in the Lori Vallow trial, they were going to not let the grandfather of JJ. They were going to only allow I believe the grandmother to talk and not the grandfather, if I'm getting that right, or vice versa. And it was really sad, but they ended up letting them all talk. So it says, the defendant stipulates to the individuals listed within State's Exhibit S1. Therefore, the state moves the court for an order allowing the family members listed on State's Exhibit S1 attached to state's motion to remain in the courtroom during the entirety of the trial against the defendant. Regarding courtroom decorum, the state defers to the court's inherent authority to supervise their officers, parties, witness, counsel, and jurors by imposing rules to protect the rights of litigants and the orderly admission of justice. Defendant requests that members of his family be granted the same rights as the victims' families. However, the immediate families of homicide victims have constitutional and statutory rights to amend pursuant to Idaho Constitutional Article 1, 22, Section 4 in Idaho Code 19-5306, Section 1, Section B. There is no comparable constitutional or statutory provisions affording a defendant's family these same rights. Further, there is no authority to support the argument that the defendant's Sixth Amendment rights would be violated. The defendant has a constitutional and statutory right to a public trial, but that does not extend to defendants choosing whom sits in the courtroom. I'm learning here because I didn't know that. I thought that the defendant got like people to sit on their side and, you know, so many people, and the prosecution, like the state got so many people, but I guess that's not how it works. It says, Idaho Constitution. In addition, the state may call members of the Kohlberger family to testify at trial. Okay. It says may, but what do you think they would call them to testify about? Do you think they would call to have them testify about that rumor that was going around, that one of the sisters knew something was going on? She thought it was Brian Kohlberger that did this. She thought it was her brother. So she told everybody. all the family members at the Christmas party or like at the Christmas dinner, like told them, and they all got up in like groups of like people, and they would go out and then I guess they were checking out his car and stuff, which if that was my family gathering, I would know right away something's up. I'd be like, where are y'all going? Like, why 3 people keep getting up and then coming back and 3 more people getting up? I mean, I would have been onto that, but apparently he wasn't. Do you think they might have been informants? Hey, Aries. Yeah, so the media will be. Yeah. I mean, they're only going to have I want to see the inside of the courtroom so we can count the seats. I guess we don't know which. Well, we do know if we look them up. Hey, KCG. Let me see. We need to look that up. Okay. How many seats? Ada County. All right, that way I just can remember because I'm just wondering because I mean they're going to have so many seats. They're going to have if Brian Kohlberger's family comes, I don't think his grandparents will come. I don't know if they're still alive or not even, but that would be 4 on the defense's side. We already got I don't even know how many people in Kaylee's family going. Her aunt, her uncle, I think, her mom, her dad, and then her brothers and sisters. I'm assuming. I think they did say 8 to 10 people were going with them. I was reading Squeaky Will's thing. I was like, what? And then who else do we have? We have Maddie's family is going to be there, her mom and her dad. I don't know if the step parent will be there, stepmom. I'm assuming so. I would assume so. And then you've got Ethan Chapin's family. They said that they weren't going to go for the longest time, but they just came out with an interview and she was saying she wanted to kind of go. So you have that family there. So there's not going to be a whole lot of like, and then you put in media. So there's not going to be a whole lot of seating for the regular old person like me or, DM or Ladybug or Planet or, like if one of us were to show up. Like, I feel like, there's not going to be extra seating. Like, how many would this place sit? I've been in courtrooms before. I know this is a pretty big courtroom, but they're not going to want it to be like overwhelming in there either. So it says that they, in addition, the state may call members of the Kohlberger family to testify at trial. We don't know which members. Prior to start of trial, they might even, they might call the parents up, right? Could they do that? Could they call his parents up and just be like, ask them questions about Brian Kohlberger, like growing up? Like we just want to know how he was growing up. Maybe that could get their prior crimes brought in. Prior to the start of the trial, the state anticipates it will motion the court or the court will on its own accord generally exclude testifying witnesses from the courtroom so that they cannot hear other witnesses' testimony. Oh, that's going to stink. If they call up Kohlberger's parents, then Kohlberger's parents aren't going to be able to sit in the trial for any portion of the trial. Normally, they'll just do it for that, like certain portions, but some courts will do it for the whole court, for the whole, like, yeah. So, I don't know. Defendant's family are not exempt from IER 615. Therefore, those members of the defendant's family on the state's witness list due April 21st, 2025, so that's due in a month, should be excluded from the courtroom until they testify. Yeah, until they testify. So I don't know. I'd be mad if that was me. I mean, how fast are they going to testify? What if they're not going to be brought in until the end? Hey, Wolf. Hey, Jenny. Welcome in, everybody. It's good to see you guys. I'm reading, so it's hard for me to see everyone. Hey, Phantom. So the next document that I'm going to read to you, and I'm wondering the family members. I'm curious. I want to know. I'm nosy. Put the names out there. William, Bill. I'm gonna get my glasses. Actually, that's probably good. I need to get a new pair. I feel like we're about due for a new pair of glasses. Actually, I know if I get an eye exam, they're gonna say you probably should get a new pair. I think I've had these for 2 years, so, and they're beautiful. I love them. You guys help me pick these out. So this is going to be another from the state because it's in pink, but it's the state's reply to the defendant's objection to the state's notice of intent to use IER 404B evidence. And as it comes now, the state of Idaho, by and through the Latah County prosecuting attorney, and submits the following reply to the March 17th, 2025 defendant's objection to state's notice of intent to use IRE 404B evidence. The state has given notice of its intent to present evidence of an August 21st, 2022 contact between Latah County Sheriff's Department Deputy Darren Duke and the defendant. So this is not going to be the one where, he was with the lady cop. This is another time that he's been pulled over. This guy gets pulled over more times than I can count. I'm totally being honest with you. I'm so surprised he didn't get pulled over the night of the homicides, especially being out the hours that he was out. You know what I mean? Like those are the hours that cops are usually looking to pull people over. But I think it's because he was on those damn back roads. But let's see what this contact was about. Let me read this to you. This contact occurred as the result of Deputy Duke conducting a traffic stop on a vehicle that was exceeding the posted speed limit. The driver of the vehicle was the defendant, Bryant Kohlberger. During the course of this contact, Mr. Kohlberger provided the following information to Deputy Duke: his name, date of birth, address, and the address that he gave was 1630 Northeast Valley Road, apartment G201, Pullman, Washington, 99163, and his telephone number. Deputy Duke also identified the defendant's Hyundai Elantra and license and registration. Although Mr. Kohlberger was stopped for exceeding the posted speed limit, Deputy Duke elected to only issue an infraction citing for failing to use his seatbelt. So not only was he speeding, but he was wearing no seatbelt. I hate people. I hate it when people, I don't hate people that don't wear a seatbelt. I hate when people don't wear a seatbelt. Be careful out there, guys. Seriously. That saved my life. The purpose of the state offering this evidence is to prove Mr. Kohlberger's admissions and acknowledgments as to, so this is all the prosecution wants this information for. They don't care that he was speeding. They don't care he wasn't wearing his damn seatbelt. They just want this for Kohlberger's admissions and acknowledgments as to his identity, address, phone number, and vehicle. So the state is not asserting that the reason for the stop nor the defendant's failure to use a seatbelt are crimes or wrongs that prove his identity. Rather, the state is only offering the defendant's admissions and acknowledgments of his identity, address, phone number, and vehicle ownership. So they just want to establish that he owns that vehicle. In my opinion, that's what they're trying to do. I think that they already know they can get his identity, his address, his phone number from his license, except for his phone number, but his license will give that to him, his identity. But the vehicle ownership is what I think they're trying to establish. So in his objection to the evidence, the defendant conflates the use of 404B evidence to infer identity based on prior conduct similar to the charged offense with direct evidence of defendant's identity. A traffic stop for speeding and a citation for failing to use a seatbelt have no connection to the offenses charged in this case, burglary and murder. The cases cited by the defendant all deal with efforts by the prosecution to offer evidence of prior criminal acts for the purpose of proving the defendant committed the acts charged in the instant case. As such, those cases are inapplicable to the purpose of the state's offer of this evidence. The evidence the state wishes to offer related to the contact between Deputy Duke and the defendant may actually fall outside the scope of Rule 404 because, as stated above, the state is not offering evidence of the defendant's acts, the exceeding the speed limit and driving without the seatbelt, to prove some component of the pending murder charges. Rather, the state is merely offering evidence of the defendant's admission as to his identity, contact information, and vehicle ownership. The defendant, in his own objection, also conflates character evidence with evidence of the defendant's identity. Again, the state does not intend to offer evidence that the defendant may have been exceeding the speed limit and or driving without a seatbelt to show some sort of character trait of the defendant. As to the balancing of probative versus prejudicial effect under IER 401, 402, and 403, number one, the evidence of the defendant's identity, residence, and telephone number and vehicle ownership are directly relevant to connecting the defendant to the crimes in this case. 2, the probative value of the defendant's identity, location of his residence, telephone number, upon which substantial cell phone and other digital evidence connects the defendant at least circumstantially to the crimes in this case, and a vehicle matching the description of the vehicle seen at and near the scene of the homicides and fleeing at a high rate of speed immediately following the time of the homicides is substantial. 3, by contrast, even if the jury hears of the reason for the stop, which is speeding, and the infraction citation, failing to use a seatbelt, there is minimal prejudice at best, and certainly nothing rises to the IER 403 standard of substantially outweighing the probative value of the evidence in the defendant's identity, residence, telephone number, and vehicle. The defendant's assertion beginning at page 4 of his objection that if the video and corresponding citation for the traffic violation on August 21st, 2020 is presented to the jury might well believe that Mr. Kohlberger is guilty of the crimes charged. He's charged with homicide, murder, and burglary. Because he is a person prone to wrongful behavior is simply preposterous. That's true. Based on the above, the state submits that the defendant's admission of his identity, address, telephone number, and vehicle are inadmissible at trial with the clarifying instructions such as provided by the state when the evidence was presented to the grand jury. If the court determines that the reason for the traffic stop and or issuance of the infraction seatbelt citation are improperly prejudicial, then the defendant's admissions to Deputy Duke should still be admitted without reference specifically to the reason for the stop or the issuance of the infraction citation. This would, however, likely create more confusion for the jury than to simply give them the entire picture with an appropriate instruction that the evidence is not offered for the purpose of showing that the defendant was not complying with traffic laws. Rather, the evidence should only be considered regarding the defendant's identity, residence, address, telephone number, and ownership of the 2015 Hyundai Elantra sedan. Maybe if he could just get up there and say, like, yeah, hey, I own the 2015 Hyundai Elantra. That'd be great. Hey, Ivy. What's going on, Ivy? Oh, gosh. Again, Ivy, oh, man. I want to go there and just, like, beat someone up for you. Okay. I'm going to get to the next document. Okay. I think we have like 2 more. So we're doing pretty good. We're kind of going by we're kind of flying by these, which is good. I wish my camera was more maybe like straightforward so you guys could see like, I guess my face better. If I'm going to have it on camera, you might as well see it. So the state's reply to defendant's objection to state's motion in limine and then RE alibi. So they're going to talk about the defendant's alibi in this one. Comes now the state of Idaho by and through the Latah County prosecuting attorney and submits the following reply to the March 17th, 2025 defendant's objection to state's motion in limine RE reply. The defendant's objection / response to the state's motion offers nothing new or substantially different. In fact, defendant appears to now acknowledge that he does not have any witnesses, potentially other than himself, to establish where the defendant was at the time of the alleged offense, as required by Idaho Code. I don't think you guys will be looking it up. But what? Okay. So it says defendant appears to now acknowledge that he does not have any witnesses other than himself. I'm surprised at this. I thought surely they were going to get the friend of the friend from his apartment. So, when he was friends with Christian Martinez from the apartment complex, and then they went to that pool party, and then he met the guy with the curly hair. And then there was about a month later, the guy with the curly hair, when he was doing an interview, he said, yeah, a month later, I saw Kohlberger at this trail, whatever that park is called. And I thought they were going to match that guy to Kohlberger and say, hey, look, see, this guy can corroborate and say that Kohlberger was in the park before, so it's plausible he could have been there on the night of the murders. That's what I thought they were going to go with that, but they didn't. They haven't went there. So, and hopefully that she's not watching my show and I won't give her any ideas. But it says partial corroboration does not cover the time alleged in the state's charging documents or any affidavit in support of the state's reply to defendant's objection to state's motion in limine. RE reply. Searching and seizing Mr. Kohlberger's person or property, defendant's objection at page 2. At best, the witness mentioned by the defendant, Cy Ray, can only testify generally to his opinion about where the defendant was during the morning of November 13th, 2022. Based on the evidence, we know for a fact that cellular analysis cannot show where the defendant was at the time of the alleged offense as required by the applicable statute and court rule because, we're going to finally get an answer, the defendant's cell phone was turned off during that time. So it wasn't dead. It was turned off. Wasn't out of service. It was turned off. Based on the above and the extensive history of repeated attempts to get the defendant to comply with the disclosure requirements of Idaho Code, boop, boop, beep, pop, boop, the court should enter an order prohibiting the defendant from presenting any evidence other than from the defendant himself, whether by direct or cross-examination in support of any claimed alibi regarding the specific place or places at which the defendant claims to have been at the time of the alleged offense, as required by the reference statute and court rule, and as directed by the Honorable John Judge's February 23rd, 2024 order setting deadlines and hearing, and as discussed in the state's April 26, 2024 response to notice of defendant's supplemental response to defendant's, let me read that again. To state's April 26, 2024 response to notice of defendant's supplemental request or response to state's alibi. Don't know why I couldn't get that one out. And then they just have it signed here. So we want your alibi, Kohlberger. We want the whole thing. And you can't give us any witnesses, so you're going to have to talk. I don't know. How are you going to do that? How's that going to work? Hey, Sparkly Starfish. I love that name. You guys come up with the cutest names. That's true. Your DNA is, yeah, you leave your DNA everywhere. Alec, you're right. Hey, Mary Beth, there you are. Just thinking of you. Well, I was thinking of you earlier. It's been about 30 minutes, but you know what I mean. I was reading, so I wasn't thinking about much of anything. I was just thinking of what I was reading so I could tell you guys. You need Aries as a bodyguard. He's one of mine. He's my internet bodyguard. Best believe that. He's the best one. Best one on the app. If you need a bodyguard, Aries. So where were we? Okay. Based on did I read this part? I thought I read this whole thing. Yeah, I did. I'm like, I'm going to go back up and read it again for you guys. Okay, let's go to the next one. We got it all there. So this one is a shorter. It's only 3 pages, like 2 pages. So you see how these are all like short, 1, 2 pages. Like then we get to like Ann Taylor's shit. And then it's 14 pages. Like, why? Why do you have to do that? Why do you have to put in all the word salad? Because then you fuel this flame on this fire with these creators that are pro burger all the way, which is fine with me. I mean, if you guys think the guy's innocent and he didn't do anything, more power to you. I'd love to, know why, but it gives these people like just this little bit of stuff to hang on. They'll be like, well, Ann Taylor said, and it's like, well, Ann Taylor's also a defense attorney. She's going to get in what she can. She is going to get in when she can. But if you do think that, Brian Kohlberger's innocent, like I would love to know, like why, like, you know what I mean? Like why you think that way. And then, like, and I'm not going to get mad at you. I'm probably the least person. Now, if you would have caught me 2 years ago, I probably would have yelled at you a little bit. But if you catch me now, I wouldn't, come up on one panel, let me know. It's good conversation to have because if you are all thinking the same thing, that's not fun. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like an echo chamber. I like people with difference of an opinion. So, and we cover a lot of cases on this channel. So I'm sure there's going to be other cases that you have difference of an opinion on with other than me. And that's okay. That's okay. That's what we could do over here. Unlike, the channels that are fighting back and forth right now and doing all that stuff, we can actually all have a conversation over here and like have a conversation and not fight. That's pretty cool. I like that. So this document says, comes now the state of Idaho by and through the Latah County prosecuting attorney and submits the following reply to the March 17th, 2025 defendant's objection to the state's motion in lemmy, alternative perpetrator evidence. Although the defendant purports to object to the defendant's motion and asks that the court deny the same, in truth, the defendant appears to substantially concur with the legal standards articulated by the state in support of an instant motion. The defendant acknowledges that he must make a satisfactory offer of proof prior to offering or arguing an alternative perpetrator theory. So you've got to offer some sort of proof before you can even argue that there's an alternative person. You've got to have the evidence. You can't say, okay, we think somebody else did it, and we'll tell you why after we get through all the state stuff and we, all that. No, can't do that. There's guidelines, there's rules, there's, hey, Ava, hey, Mike, hey, True Talk, Trips True Talk. There's just things there's just a way that the system rolls, the justice system rolls. And it's called, things are due at a certain time and you got to get them in. Consequently, the court should grant the state's motion and enter an order prohibiting the defendant from offering alternative perpetrator evidence or argument without first satisfying the court that such evidence is relevant and admissible under IER 401, 402, and 403. Under the authority of Meister, which cites approvingly to state for self, the defendant's proffer or offer of proof must include evidence specifically connecting person or persons rather than the defendant to the homicides, recognizing that mere interferences that another person could have committed the crime will most likely not be relevant, and if relevant, will still be subject to the limitations provisions of IER 403. The state further request, let me read that again. Wait, hold on. Other than defendant to the homicide, recognize it. Okay. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything there. The state further requests that the court set a reasonable deadline for the defendant to make any proffer offers of proof regarding alternative perpetrator evidence or argument sufficiently prior to trial so the issues can be fully reviewed by the court, appropriate admissibility decisions made, and the parties prepared to proceed accordingly. Oh, Bill. Bill's ready to go to court, I have a feeling. Remind me remind me at the end of the live, Black Hole Sun. I'm going to show you something at the end of the live. I'm going to write it down. Because I did this video forever ago, and it's going to make you laugh so hard. Hey, Marion Thorpe, how you been? Oh, go to bed, kitty. Have a good night, Nikki. Tell him to say go to bed. Time to go to bed. Okay, so I'm not going to read all of this out to you guys, but I'm going to read most of this out to you guys. So this is because it's 14 pages. But when we get down to like these ones, we may just go through. Actually, I think we could do this quick. Okay. So this is I forgot to highlight up here blue, but this is for Brian's. This is for the defense. So comes now Brian C. Kohlberger, by and through his attorneys of record, and hereby objects to the state's motion in limine to admit self-authenticating records. The state provided a list containing terabytes of discovery in its motion for admission at trial based on its exception to the rule against hearsay. This is an example of the discovery practices the state engages in, which violate Mr. Kohlberger's right to due process and a fair trial. What are you saying that they do? They're putting in hearsay? Are you saying, Brian, because Dylan Mortenson's testimony, she's pissed. Mr. Kohlberger's grounds his objection in the United States Constitution, 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment, and the Idaho Constitution, Article 1, Section 13. The state has not provided a specific record with a certificate and affidavit. The state has promised certification in the future, but has failed to properly identify the record and how it falls within 803.6 and/or 8. The Idaho Court of Appeals has said Rule 803.6, the business record exception to the hearsay rule, allows admissions of a record or report if it was made and kept in the course of regularly conducted business activity, and if it was the regular practice of that business to make that report or record. The provided list is not easily identifiable as to which records the state is referring to. And this is going to be, all of these pages are going to be just records that they talk about. Many of the records require foundation because the state has not supplied information to guarantee completeness and authenticity of the record. Aside from issues of authenticity, the state provides no basis upon which any of these records are relevant and meet Idaho Rules of Evidence 401, 402, and 403. Before any of these records are admitted, they must first be relevant. Only then does the determination of whether an exception to the hearsay rule even matter. In support of his objection, Mr. Kohlberger describes the size and complexity of each item for which the state requests admissions with a promise certificate as follows. I don't know why they say Mr. Kohlberger. He's not reading through the shit right now. It should be the lawyers, right? The lawyers should be having this. It should be saying, I'm having problems doing this. But I think, so apparently this is too much for the defense to handle, is what they're saying. But we could handle it all on YouTube when we were looking at this stuff that we were looking at, like the Linda Lane footage, which I only watched 1 hour of that, the 1 hour it was relevant. But a lot of other people watched a lot of hours of that. You should have, I think Ann Taylor needs to hire these people. So 1320 Linda Lane surveillance footage for November 13th, 2022, hard drive provided on 4/5/2022. So that's that hard drive was provided 2 years ago. 3 years ago. Holy camole. And we're still playing like we can't watch it. 1330 Linda Lane surveillance footage for November 13th. Hard drive provided 4/5/2022. And she's going to say she doesn't know which parts to watch. You know which parts. You know when the murders were committed. You know that's what we're all been watching on the internet. It says these surveillance videos contained in the folder AV000147 are 2 videos from the same viewpoint. They are each a 1-hour time block. Counsel has located in discovery video footage from the 2 cameras that are between 8 and 9 gigabytes of data. This data runs in numerous clips of varying length and the approximate total of 12.5 hours. The state has not provided any specific related to what it intends to rely on or use as evidence, nor a certificate that the videos were made and kept in the course of a regularly conducted business activity. And if it was a regular practice of this business to make the report and record, no certification for this footage establishing the criteria required exist. Okay. Albertsons. And this is going to be all places that anything listed on here is going to be something that she wants to be thrown out anyway. So Albertsons, video surveillance and business records for November 13th. The hard drive was given to them on 4/5/23. This is a surveillance recording that is about 3 gigabytes in size. The file contains multiple views that cover about a 2-hour time block. The state has not provided any specific related to what it intends to rely on or use as evidence, nor a certificate that the videos was made and kept in the course of a regularly conducted business activity. Okay, I'm going to let you know something, Ann Taylor. They have to give you the discovery. They don't have to give you their playbook. You're not getting that right now, okay? They gave you the discovery, right? They gave it to you. You've had it since 2022. In some cases. But now we're in 2025 and you're Sarah Booning us saying, well, I didn't know that court was going to be right around the corner. Well, I didn't know that we needed to do this. I swear. Amazon financial and user records for Brian Kohlberger. You should know what they're looking for in there. Your dude was caught. Well, not your dude. No, let's not say that. There was a knife sheath left on the bed of a murder victim. I'm sure you knew that. Probably around the 6th, 7th when you were hired. So you had all this time. We're not giving you any more time, Ann. We're all putting our foot down. So it says contains an Excel spreadsheet with information and categories for subscriptions, information, and order history for an Amazon account, Mr. Kohlberger and his family members. AV 243, it contains Mr. Kohlberger's father's account records and purchase history. These records list purchases for the entire family. Was that knife placed under his dad's name? AV 398 contains subscription history, click activity, and sign-in history for the Amazon account for Mr. Kohlberger and his family. AV 832 contains a police report from Michael Douglas. Mr. Kohlberger objects specifically to AV 832. Which one's that? The Amazon financial record history. As it is a police report and the prosecution must have a witness to testify about the contents of a police report. Well, I'm sure they will. They'll have a policeman there. He objects to the rest of the requested documents because the records are not a complete record. The court should consider Mr. Kohlberger's motion to exclude all Amazon records and expert testimony in conjunction with the state's request. On March 12, 2025, the state filed expert opinions related to the Amazon records some 3 months after its expert disclosure deadline. AT&T phone records for Mr. Kohlberger, Madison Mogan, and Xana Kernodle. Mr. Kohlberger notes that these records are one copy of several copies obtained during the course of the case. The folder also contains records relating to someone else. The state has not provided any specifics related to what it intends to rely on or use as evidence, nor a certificate that the records were made and kept in the course of the regular conducted business activity. A lot of these are redundant. Mr. Kohlberger seeks exclusion of these records based on the state's incomplete expert disclosures. The bagel shop video surveillance video for November 13th, 2022. Does anyone remember a bagel shop? I remember the Kate's Cup of Joe. But I didn't know there was a bagel shop too. So they have 7.5 gigabytes in that one. No information has been submitted explaining how this video is certified or what portions the state intends to use. They don't have to do that, Ann Taylor. I'm not a freaking lawyer. And I'm telling you, they don't need to tell you what they plan, what their playbook is. They just have to give you the discovery, whatever they discovered. Just happens to be this case, they got a whole lot of discovery. You better hire more people and stop letting people like Jay Logston go, you know? I mean, he's good for not a whole lot, but he might be good for reading. Bank of America bank records for Bethany Funk and Xana Kernodle. The two folders contain different sets of information. AV 00133 contains Bank of America records for Bethany Funk and Xana Kernodle. There is an additional record listed that appears to be another person. Additionally, sections of the record were redacted, blocking out information. AV 254 contains Bank of America records for Bethany Funk and Xana Kernodle. These records are different than those in AV 133. I was wondering what was in AV 133. Banner banking records for AC, Ethan Chapin, hard drive provided 4/5/2023. So they're just now getting to these. The state has not provided any specific related to what it intends to rely on or use as evidence, nor a certificate that the records were made and kept in the course of a regular conducted business activity, and if it was the regular practice of the business to make the report or record. It says the file contains records for Ethan Chapin and his mother. The state has not provided any specifics related to what it intends to rely on as evidence, just like what they said before. Cafe Aristia, video surveillance video for November 13th. This disclosure contains still photos as well as multiple files of recordings. The amount of video footage available is about 2 hours. You can't sit down and watch something for 2 hours. Corner Club video surveillance video for November 12th through the 13th. These two files may be duplicate disclosures. The video surveillance is from 14 different cameras with multiple hours of video footage. There is no disclosure containing what sections. Okay, you should know what sections they're going to use when the girls were there. I mean, can I just sit with Ann Taylor and write this up for her and just tell her what all this means? Now, I don't know why they wanted the financial transaction receipts. Was your dude at the corner club that night? because I don't know why they would want financial transaction receipts for November 13th. Yeah, better start looking through those receipts. Costco, Clarkston, Washington. Surveillance video for November 13th. Didn't even know he was in a Costco. This surveillance is for up to 10 cameras and runs approximately for an hour. Wow. The sales student records regarding Brian Kohlberger. This disclosure is thousands of pages of documents that are not organized in any fashion. This disclosure involves information related to Mr. Kohlberger's calendar, coursework, drafts, final drafts, testing, emails, and syllabi for classes while he was a student at the sales. The state they don't know what they're going to use. They're mad. Dick's Sporting Goods record of sale for Brian Kohlberger. The disclosure contains a copy of sales record from June of 2022. The state has not specified what records it intends to omit. Blah, blah, blah. Look at the receipt. If there's a receipt on there, let's just say, for instance, he bought the K-bar knife at Dick's. If it says K-bar knife on there, don't you think that's a little inclination of what you should be looking at? You got your law degree. It smells like bulk bleach all over the place. Ours don't smell like that, Marianne. No, actually, next time I go in there, I'm going to have to smell it. I was in Sam's tonight. I didn't smell it there, but we have Sam's and Costco. We go to both. Let's see. Okay, so then we're done with that page, I guess. Yeah. So discover financial records for Kaylee Gonzalez. This record contains a certification for 33 pages of records. The state has supplied 17 pages, including compliance forms and emails. This record is incomplete. DoorDash records for Xana Coronado and Ethan Chapin. AV000265 contains Ethan Chapin's DoorDash records, but does not contain records for Xana Coronado. Maybe they got it off of Ethan Chapin's card. I don't know. The 4/5/23 disclosure is a DoorDash search warrant return. The warrant return contains photographs, a list of deliveries to 1122 King Road and span as far back as 2019, and a spreadsheet of communication between the person ordering the food and the DoorDasher. Okay. And then all of these are all going to read the same. Like, the state has not specified what they're going to use. We want to know what they're going to use. Early warning record. This disclosure contains some certificate, but no record with content. Alon financial records for Kayla Gonzalez. And it just says it's contains a folder related to the account for Kayla Gonzalez's relative. ENS services. And that's 1300 Johnson Avenue, Pullman, Washington. We're going to have to map this out. Surveillance video for November 13th, 2022. Hard drive provided on 4/5/2023. This disclosure contains 2 dates of surveillance, each with 125 entries. Farmer insurance surveillance video for November 13th, 2022. This one has 641 separate videos, and the other has 175 videos. Floyd's Cannabis Company surveillance video. Were you stopping to get some smoke, Kohlberger, or were you just driving by? I hope you were stopping you're getting some smoke. The surveillance in this disclosure comes from 2 separate cameras and has multiple views. Forrest Dax, Crypto.com. Financial records for Brian Kohlberger. Was he really into crypto? Yeah, I could see that. Oh, yeah. Okay. This disclosure contains records that show purchase history and include the time, but not the date, account activity, and automated chats relating to account updates. The state has not provided any specific related to what it intends to rely on, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I'm not into crypto, but Vincent is. I can either call him, or if there's somebody in the chat that's like knows anything about crypto. Okay. Can you take your crypto and use it towards purchases online. I'm pretty sure that's a yes, but because I'm wondering if maybe he decided to, use this money or use crypto instead of like actual money to pay for things. Yep. Some do, yeah. Okay, that's what I thought. Wonder if like Amazon does. You can turn it into Cash App money? Oh, the hell damn. Vincent's into the like he likes to watch it. He's not really in it now, but he just watches the numbers. So but he's been doing it since like before it became a thing. Like when we first started dating 9-10 years ago, over 9 years ago now, he was into it years before then. So it was like, he knows how to, that's why I would call him, get his opinion. But okay. So then it says, the crypto company, it says this, for the first time, the state disclosed that its expert Michael Douglas intends to rely on this record in his summary. No opinion regarding these records have been disclosed. Grub truck video surveillance video for November 13th. This disclosure contains 4.5 hours of video. Oh my Lord, you know when to look. Harbor Freight business and surveillance records. So business and surveillance. So they want to know the business records. This disclosure has surveillance video, receipts, and a product manual. What would you buy at Harbor Freight? I mean, there's a lot of things that you would have a product manual. Everything there has a product manual. But what would our dude need? That would involve a product manual. Let me know if anybody has any clue. And thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. You guys are amazing. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU bank records for Madison Mogan. The hard drive was provided again on 4/5/23. Today is the 23rd of March, 2025. Indian Mountain Lake surveillance and records. This disclosure does not contain video surveillance. It does contain records of entry and visitor logs. The time frame exceeds the date that Mr. Kohlberger was arrested. The state has not provided any blah, blah, blah. Joanne Fabrics. You better get your records from Joanne because she's closing. And there ain't going to be no one to call. This disclosure contains purchase information and a receipt. What did you buy at Joanne Fabrics? Fabric for your car seats? To put over your car seats? I don't know. That would be, you need a lot of fabric. You need like the sponge and everything. I mean, like that sounds gross, but like bodily fluids would go straight through just, a fabric. Lake Charles County Sheriff's Office, Deputy Darren Duke's body camera video on August 21st. Lake Charles County Office citation issued on August 21st. This disclosure cannot be presented by the state of Idaho. We know. They're not trying to. They said that. They just want him to say, hey, this was Brian Kohlberger. He said that was his car, and that's it. Marshall's financial records for Brian Kohlberger. Well, we'll never know what's on that Marshall's receipt. This disclosure contains a Marshall receipt because they have like departments there, like home, bath. So everything that's home is in the same section. Everything that's bath is in the same section. So it could be anything from, a toilet brush to, clean out your toilet to, a faucet. I don't know. I'm just saying like they're all classified in the same group. They're in this, like they'd all be in bath. Like, and I said this last night, like this shirt here. Now, if I were to sell this shirt in my boutique, I would have a SKU for this shirt here, the size of this shirt and the color. And then if I had this in a medium, I would have a SKU for that. And if I had it in like, let's say an orange, it would have a different SKU because it'd be a different color, if that makes sense. So, it says that AV 000350 contains a variety of documents that include police reports, photos, interview, handwritten notes, consent forms, victimology, questionnaires, receipts, copies of messages, and other documents, most of which are not related to Mr. Kohlberger. The state has not supplied a certification of any record within this file. AV 000861 contains a single-page document listing purchases from multiple businesses. This file contains nothing to identify what it is or who it is about. No certification accompanies this document stating who generated this document or who it relates to. The state has not provided any specific related to what it intends to rely on or use as evidence, nor a certificate that the records, were kept regularly. Okay. National Weather Service records for November 12th and 13th. The state does not provide certification or in compliance with case law and rule. Well, they're just looking at, to see what the night was like on the 12th and the 13th. New America bank records for Kayla Gonzalez. The hard drive contains a sheet with sign-in information. It contains information produced pursuant to a search warrant. Contains multiple files of unrelated records as well as a duplicate of AV 000828. Only one file has purported certification. The state has provided, we already read that part. So PayPal/Venmo financial records. This disclosure contains Venmo records for Mr. Kohlberger. The record does not have any sort of compliance with case law or statute. I wonder what's in there. AV 00260. This disclosure contains records from Synchrony for Mr. Kohlberger's PayPal. The state has included a purported certification of these records to include, or is included, sorry, of these records is included. AV. Oh, okay. I'm not going to do the AV. We're just going to say what it's from. Disclosure contains records from PayPal, PNC bank records for Mr. Kohlberger. It says contains Mr. Kohlberger's account information with transactions from June 2022. Pentel data records for MK and MAK. Why can't I think of who the hell is MK and MAK? MK, MAK. Let me know. I don't know. I guess they're initials for something. So Pennsylvania State Employee Credit Union for Mr. Kohlberger. And then AV 000242. It says contains PSECU records of MK and MAK. This has to be Kohlberger's family, right? His sister's name's Melissa, right? And Amanda? Oh, the mother's Mary. Is the mother Mary? Marianne, it is. Yep. The mom is Marianne. You're right. It is Marianne. But I think that the sisters' names were, I just said them with such conviction. Now I can't remember what I just said. Because now we're talking about Marianne. Xana's dad is Jeff Kernodle. The mom, you think maybe Marianne? Because it could be like Mary Ann. Oh, and what's his dad's name? Michael? So Michael and Mary Kay, you think maybe that's what it is? Maybe. So, wow, okay. So Pentel data account. I don't know what Pentel data records are. Melissa and Amanda. Okay. I remember what I said after I said it. I was so convinced too. So Petco financial records for Kayla Gonzalez. And it's just with her rewards card. Rite Aid financial records. Ross Financial Records. Sunset Mart again. Target. Would you get a Target? 51 pages of receipts from Target. Man, you were buying some stuff. Oh, it's a gift card. This disclosure contains an email trail regarding a gift card issued in 2014. Oh, I guess he's probably using the gift card, maybe. This disclosure contains a letter to Agent Douglas stating that they are providing the records for, DM and BF from Target. That sounds more like it. TikTok user records for Xana Kernodle. TJX financial records for DM. T-Mobile records for KG and DM. And it says this disclosure contains call detail and subscriber records for KG and DM from 6/23/2022 to 8/1/2022. Umpqua bank records for DM. Under Armour transaction records for Brian Kohlberger. It's a lot of the stuff that it seems like they would want thrown out. The U.S. Chef Store. That's the one that got him on surveillance. So video surveillance, yeah, for November 13th. You probably do want that. Getting out of there. Ulta financial records for Kayla Gonzalez and Madison Mogan, and a person only identified by a member ID number. Verizon phone records for Ethan Chapin, Bethany Funk, and who's JD? Jack Decor? I'm assuming. This disclosure contains phone downloads for each of the named persons. These records are captured by more than one tool for download. Each record contains a huge amount of data. And then the AV 303, this disclosure contains records for Ethan Chapin and Bethany Funk. There are no records for JD in this disclosure. The state does not provide any specifics related to what it intends to rely on. So Walmart surveillance and financial transaction records for Brian Kohlberger. So there's surveillance at the Walmart. Dude, you're done. You're done. If they got you at Walmart, let's just say buying the overalls, those Dickies. I mean, I'm just assuming you would be pretty toast after that. So then AV 384 is this disclosure is one of several containing surveillance videos from Walmart. In this particular folder, there are multiple cameras and surveillance videos. These would not open and were provided in a converted format. Now, you know Walmart will not have them. You just go back there. 3 years from now, that's fine. Walmart will have them. They're like the Secret Service when it comes to video cameras. I'm telling you, Not every video from this folder was provided in a converted format. The state has not provided any specifics related to what it intends to rely on as evidence, blah, 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 blah. We've read that part a million times. So Washington Department of Motor Vehicles surveillance video for November 18th, 2022. So the AV 140, this disclosure contains surveillance footage. The state has not provided certification for this video. And then the 830, the AV 830, this disclosure contains surveillance footage and is noted as converted. Both disclosures have several videos. These videos contain sound. No certification was provided. Washington Department of Motor Vehicles registration documents for Mr. Kohlberger. This disclosure contains registration and title documents. Washington Trust Bank records for Mr. Kohlberger. And it says they have the bank records for him. It's an Excel spreadsheet of transactions and PDG documents of images of Mr. Kohlberger in his car at the ATM on the morning on 11/13/22. What? So he went to the bank. What'd you get? So he went to the bank. Then went to the ATM on 11/13. on the morning on 11/13. So was this when you were going back to your home from going over there around 9:30 in the morning? Go back home, you're like, "I better stop at the bank, give me some money because I'm gonna be going out later to get rid of the murder weapon and the clothing and all the stuff. So I wanna use cash if I wanna, let's say, pick up a coffee or go to Albertsons and buy some cleaning supplies for my vehicle, perhaps?" I'm just saying perhaps. Wells Fargo records. Um, wait, we missed one. Nope, we didn't. And that was for Madison Mogan and AV00155. This disclosure contains Wells Fargo records for Madison Mogan. These records were obtained pursuant to a search warrant. AV261. This disclosure contains Umpqua records for DM and Wells Fargo records for Madison Mogan. The record contains the grand jury packet and letter. These records are not the same as the record contained in AV000155. And that's the document, the Wells Fargo records for Madison Mogan. The AV262, this disclosure contains Wells Fargo's records for Madison Mogan. They were the same records contained in AV155 and AV261. AV262A, this disclosure provides the same record again, but with another document that had not been provided with any other related disclosure. The state has not provided any specifics related to what it intends to rely on or use as evidence, nor a certificate that the records/videos were made and kept in the course of a regularly conducted business activity. We read through that before. Winco financial records for Mr. Kohlberger. This is a single-page document. So why do you need help with that? Single-page document. Winco financial records and video surveillance for Bethany Funk, Dylan Mortensen, Kayla Gonzalez, Madison Mogan, and Xander Kernodle. What, did they all go to the bank the same day? It's weird. Like everybody but Ethan. Like maybe they did. Washington State University video surveillance. This disclosure contains surveillance video from a variety of cameras and multiple separate videos of surveillance footage at WSU. The state has not provided any specifics related to what it intends to do with these files. We know what they intend to do with them. Show Kohlberger going from his house to the crime scene. Like I could tell you, I don't know why Aunt Taylor can't tell herself that for $200 an hour. I can tell her that. So, okay, Isle of View. Okay, so whose car would you take? How would you get there? And if you say an Uber, it's going to be tracked. If you rent a car, it's going to be tracked. You're not going to walk there, right? So you're going to use your own car. You just are. Just think about it with some just think about it commonly for a minute. Like, if I'm going to go and commit a crime, I'm just going to take my own car. I'm going to have to because I can't, if I rent one, that's going to be, they're going to be able to go back on my rental paperwork, right? If I ask a friend for one, that's going to look a little weird when the news breaks that there's been 4 killed in Idaho when they live right in Washington, right over the border. I just don't know. So if you could think of a better one than that, I don't know. If you could think of a better one than that, let me know. Why would he risk it showing up on the 112 camera? I don't think he saw that camera. I don't think he even noticed there was a camera in there. It was a doorbell camera or a light bulb camera. Those things are very, it was dark. It was painted black. I don't know if it came black, or if it was painted black because mine's white, and it's the same one. But yeah, they could paint it. And I think he didn't even notice that camera. Well, I don't think he noticed that one at all. I wouldn't notice that probably. And I own one. But yeah, I just don't know about the car. I think that he would have to take his own vehicle. He doesn't know anybody. He's new. I think they would have found him faster if he would have rented a car and had it in the area, and than if he were to just drive his own. I mean, because if you think about it, he got away with a lot. I mean, there's not a lot of evidence here, you know? Like, I think we're going to find out a lot more, but I mean, as of right now, there's not a whole lot of evidence. So they want the WSU parking records. The disclosure is from a record is from WSU containing a vast amount of information about vehicles, parking, and campus-related information. The AV 394, this disclosure contains content appearing to duplicate of AV 375. AV 430, this disclosure contains a huge amount of data covering U of I and WSU parking permits, parking tickets, searches for vehicles through different entities, vehicle spreadsheets, specific files seeking 2011 to 2013 Elantras and 2019 to 2022 Nissan Sentra. There are 2 WSU related folders. One contains some of the same information in AV 375 and AV 394, but also contains additional information. The second WSU related file contains spreadsheets for the various vehicles queried through traffic tickets. And then the state does not give any evidence of what they're going to do with it. The state is seeking broad authority to provide in the future a certification for records listed above. These records are extensive. They contain several terabytes of video and thousands of pages. The state has obtained these records in a variety of ways. Some came through police work doing video canvassing. Others came with search warrant act services, and many came through federal grand jury subpoena. Mr. Kohlberger provides as an exhibit a copy of federal grand jury subpoena he was provided inadvertently. He sought all grand jury subpoenas through discovery and motion to compel. He was not provided copies other than this advertently produced copy. Of interest and in support of his objection to the state's motion is that records were dual produced by search warrant and by subpoena. The copy of records is not identical in every production. This exhibit depicts a letter from FBI agent Douglas regarding the keeper of business records to contact him prior to fulfilling the subpoena. In the packet in the exhibit, there is an affidavit of compliance which specifies that what documents are responsive to the subpoena and specify what is supplied. As has been pointed out within the last discovery items above, when an affidavit has been produced in relation to the FBI grand jury subpoena, there is usually a discrepancy. Mr. Kohlberger urges the court to first require the state to explain how each of these records are relevant, because the mass production without specificity makes it impossible for Mr. Kohlberger to effectively confront this evidence. The court must require verification of the records and videos produced along with any certification. Man, Anne. Sheesh. Mr. Kohlberg's objection to the state's broad request is summed up with reliance on his rights and protections under the United States Constitution and the state of Idaho Constitution. Mr. Kohlberger has protections of a fair trial, effective assistance of counsel, and confronting evidence produced against him. Yeah, effective assistance of counsel. We get that. That's supposed to be you. And Idaho rules of evidence govern evidence admissibility at trial. Mr. Kohlberger objects to the state's request that a large sweep with a free pass for admissibility. The state's request is premature, excessively broad, and must be denied until the request can be disclosed specifically and properly litigated. How about you tell us where Kohlberger was the night of the 12th through the 13th? How about that, Ann Taylor? And none of this bull crap. None of this back and forth bull crap. That was a word salad if I ever read one to y'all. And it's the only reason why I have to read Ann's responses, because, you know, we are a true crime channel here. We read the responses as we read the state's, responses to that back and forth. But she can really give somebody like a headache. I don't have a headache. I'm surprised, but she really could give somebody one. If you guys want to ever look on the Idaho case of interest yourself, I'm going to put the link in the chat for you guys. If you guys ever want to go over there and just, oh yeah, Patrick, she is. Yeah, she definitely can be. Yeah, that's when they picked him out, 12:30. Order for disclosure for the defense is there. Not I don't think so. To get to the ducking point, I don't think so. Brian's not going home though. Yep. Danny, you're absolutely right. Absolutely. Yeah, she wants that money. I believe that, Elizabeth. Yeah. Well, hopefully you guys were all well behaved in the chat tonight since I was in on a lot of reading. So when I'm on a lot of reading, sometimes I don't get to see you guys. But if you do want to become a member of this great channel that we have here, I'll put the link in the chat. If you're using an iPhone, you have to go through Safari. It's so stupid. I don't know why YouTube does that to you guys, but they do. Let me show you guys what I was going to show you earlier tonight. It might not even matter now if I can get to it. If I can't get to it tonight, then I'll get to it tomorrow. Unable to verify. What do you mean? I'm giving. This is this one and this one. Okay. Oh, I'm not signed in, I don't think. Oh, there I am. Oh, something went wrong. Okay. Let's see if we can just look me up. Okay. Stop doing that. It keeps asking me to confirm. Okay. Okay, now I'm just getting mad. Okay, anyway, I'll have to show it to you tomorrow because I have to sign in over there. But I don't know if everyone was in the chat, is still in the chat from earlier tonight, but I did have we were talking about creators fighting right now, and they're just reviewing, someone will review their panel, they'll review their panel, and it's just back and forth, and it's 1 million people. Well, I did a video on that months ago. If you're on my TikTok, you guys will know. It's TitaniumBuilt. If you want to go over there and check it out, it's just, if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see it. You'll notice that there's people on the screen, boxes or whatever. But if you guys don't mind taking a second and hit the like button, that would really help. And I'm trying to think of anything else. We'll be back to do some content tomorrow at 9:15 again. 9:15 Eastern Standard Time. Probably will review more Idaho because I know that the other channels, not YouTube channels, but other channels that we watch and stuff, they'll be catching up with us tomorrow. So maybe we can go through, watch one, and review everything that we kind of talked about tonight. There may be more documents out tomorrow. You never know. We may see documents a lot more often than we have previously. I know that they're really letting us have a lot than what we're used to. So I'm pretty excited about that. What was I going to say? I am going to do lives on my second channel throughout the day, throughout the week. During the day, I just don't think I'm going to do it every day. I think I'll do it every other day. So I didn't do it today. So I should come on and do something tomorrow. I don't think I have anything scheduled to do. and maybe we'll do, I don't know, we'll do like cooking or shit talking. I don't know. We'll do something. We'll figure out something to do over there. But the channel is Unfiltered with Tanya. If you're not over there subscribed yet and you want to be subscribed to the unfiltered side of me, that's where we usually go. Let me see if I can I don't know if I can put in second channel, if that works or not. I don't think it does. I'll put the link in the chat. It'll probably pop up. There it is. Nope, that's not it. I thought I saw it like up a little further, but I didn't. Okay. Well, I will see you guys all tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you guys so much for being here tonight. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button on the way out. And I will see you guys all later. Have a wonderful Tuesday. Bye, guys.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out.